Alright everybody, welcome to Beyond All Reason on Hot Lips Remake, because you know, we got a nice little lake here. It's got some very interesting red plant matter down there, I'd say. But to start off the match, we have two very good teams fighting each other. Well, yeah, pretty high level teams, I'd say, for the most part. Definitely some hard hitters here. We have Chisato here in the blue playing Armada, which you know what? I'm glad somebody's playing Armada. That's actually good. Yeah. And then we have Damus here also playing Armada. Is Armada the meta now, guys? Our top tier TS players are playing Armada. I think this means something. The winds are shifting. They're changing. We also have some other people that I recognize here. OG Shocks, also very good. And I think that's about it that I recognize here. Guidecast here as well playing Armada. Is Shocks... Look how many Armada players there are. Hold on. Are there any Cortex players here, guys? Yes, okay. We do have some Cortex players. I was like, is this an Armada-only match? Because I just came from looking at a bunch of free-for-all matches, and they're all playing Cortex. So seeing Armada like this is really interesting. Lenore and Nims over here on the left side of the map in the Cool Colors team. Also, names I recognize, as well as Waterflame. And yeah, look how many Armada players there are. I don't know how many times I need to say this, but this is fantastic. So something to note here. We have Akamu here going air, which his opponent Guidecast is also going to be going air. Now Guidecast is the Armada commander. He will be going air eventually, starting off a bot lab, which I think is smart. I think even though you obviously being an air player, you want to have air eventually, starting with an air lab like this is inadvisable, and especially starting off with something that you're making shurikens first. Not that shurikens are bad, they're very good units, very cost effective, but with this aircraft plant, you're going to have a very bad economy unless other people are helping you. And you're already on a 3-mech start here, so you're already going to be very slow with no place to expand. So you want to get that economy going as quick as you possibly can. So I think it's smart of Guidecast to be going for the bot lab first instead of that aircraft plant. So we will see shurikens get some use here. Wow, I mean, they stopped a scout. They're really good for stopping those early pushes, but... yeah, aircraft plant plus not even producing like a worker drone or anything like that, I think was inadvisable. And he's still only making fighters right now. Like, this is... nobody's going to be making bombers at 2.5 minutes into the game, right? It's just, it's very silly. It's not going to happen. You don't need fighters this early in the game. And I think you're going to see him being hamstrung later on. Which definitely affects other things. Your air player is very important here. So it's actually kind of interesting that we have more of our mid-range players being the air players instead of doing something like, holding the front line for the top tier eco players to ride off the backs of. But yeah, pretty, static front line here initially. Not too much going on. Obviously, I'd say our north and our south players are going to have the most dynamic games. Just because this is a much easier expansion path than traveling through here, right? And it's worth more to go through here, I think. You have your geothermal plants and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how the top tier flanks go and all this pinging. The chat is also very active in this game and also very toxic, and it doesn't really add anything, so I won't be looking at it. Feel free to look at it if you want. I think I might mute the chat sound real quick, actually, because it's just very loud, and it's not actually important for this game to be looking at. So, Sentient Waffle up here, walking right into a laser tower. No bueno. Gonna get the old D-gun out on one of those laser towers that was building. But yeah, Battle Bandit has this position mostly secure for now, although pawns are arriving for Sentient Waffle. MDXD holding the lower half of this north side up here. And then we also have a little run by here. And by Chummers, so I guess we're feeding him to the sharks. Is that what Chum is, right? Yes, I think it's shark food. A lot of ticks here, very nice. Gonna be self-destroying that mechs, which is gonna grab a few ticks there, very nice. And we also have some other ticks here from Chisato. He knows what he's doing, so gonna be warding off this attack. I don't even really think the ticks got much done. They took out one mechs, but, what are you gonna do? It gave everybody a scare, how about that? Shocks is able to take out his opponent here. Not too big of a deal. It will give him some initiative in the southern half, and will also give him a lot of metal here. Obviously, 2,000 metal for every commander that is lost. So rip to, I think that was Waterflame. he already has rip in his tag there, so I guess it is only fitting, of course. So Shox is going to be holding this lakeside portion of the southern half, while Damus is holding the very, very south against Nemzi here. And yeah, while Shox is on the, doing pretty well in attacking, Damus is definitely a little bit on the back foot. I wouldn't actually say he's on the back foot. He just doesn't seem to want to attack, even though he does have these rocket bots, which if you space them can do quite well against Janices. They fire faster. I think they have similar range, if not longer. Although they even have longer range, so I think that'd be good to just go in. And of course they're great against laser towers, which is, they're the natural counter to laser towers. Battle Bandit still with his position up here, a very, very forward bot lab, which is going to do him a lot of good if he can keep the production here. Of course, it's also very risky having a bot lab all the way up there, but if it works out for you, you're going to have your production right on the front line, which is of course super useful. Michael helping MDXD here make a little bit of a breakthrough, and is actually going to be, I would advise just moving past this. Taking Sentient Waffle off the top there is going to be nice, but I wouldn't say it's especially essential. Damus and Nems trading blows here. We'll turn the sound down a little bit. So let me figure out my sound balancing after coming back after 40 years. Yeah, the rocket bots finally putting in some work, and you can see again they do okay single target damage. Not going to be great against these tanks or the commander or anything, but their greatest strength is the ability to just poke without taking any damage themselves. So it's basically free value unless you get caught out. But again, also with his commander up here and the laser towers, he does have a place to fall back on. Chummer's not really getting in the battle there. I'd say that's probably a mistake considering you're facing Chisato, who is kind of like Stardom. Like any good player in Beyond No Reason, micro is important in this game, but it's not especially important. What determines a good player is who can eco the fastest, right? And Chisato is really, really good at that. Of course, being free-for-all, a really good free-for-all player. He has a lot of experience ecoing up in times of pressure, so I would say pushing him first is going to be doing you the greatest good. But yeah, Shox and Chummer's just sitting back here, and Damus again just holding a defensive position. So I don't think this is very wise for the South, especially when you have that initial advantage taking out this commander with the extra metal. But Shox is in it for the long haul, building a vehicle plant up front there. Again, same thing with the bot lab up here from Battle Bandit. Great investment if you can keep it, but If is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Control D, Akumu getting a lot of some use in those shurikens there, but a lot of them taken out. They are very cheap, of course, 58 metal. You're not losing a ton of metal there, but it's never good to lose units. And in the end, how helpful was that? It might be pretty helpful. Blackbark going to be going for the D-gun there on that bot lab. Crop rotation self-destructing his commander, which I think is ill-advised, but he's going to be taking out Blackbark's commander and part of his army, and then he's going to have his grunts come in and clear it up. I imagine he's going to be resurrecting his commander or just taking the metal from that. So overall, pretty good for Mr. Michael here if he can keep it. If he can, hold those commanders down, which, Sentient Waffle coming down from the hills there. Going to be, maybe knocking this grunt army out of the park, as well as with the laser tower there, also providing support, and the lone shuriken. Yeah, that's it for the grunts, and those commanders might be going to the Cool Colors team, although there is one grave rubber here, grabbing some of that metal. Might as well. Although, yeah, looks like Mr. Bart has spotted that, and Akumu is moving his commander to the front line. So how many workers does this guy have? He has one construction bot that was loaned to him, I guess. That's making some nano turrets. But yeah, his economy actually in shambles. Plus 13 metal. Compared to Guidacast, plus 15 metal. So, he only has some energy converters that are actually working right now. So I feel like he should have a little bit more metal than that. I don't know. Also, this geothermal plant up here. I don't know. We'll see how it goes in the air game here. But yeah, Akumu is basically out of planes, only a few fighters roaming around. Guidacast fighter squadron is much more healthy. So almost a full commander's worth of metal taken there for the Warm Colors team, while Sentient Waffle looks like he's going to be, getting the other commander, and I guess probably the scraps of this one. So a fair trade there. Don't know still if I would have self-destructed my commander, but in the end, it was about even there. But we can see, Chummer's got really pushed hard by Chisato there with all these rocket bots. Again, great for pushes. Those long sustained pushes against like an entrenched enemy, they're fantastic for. Shox is still holding the low ground, but yeah, it's kind of a coin flip whether Chisato is going to be going for that northern position or the southern one. I would say I would go for Shox personally, just because he does have this geothermal power plant, which, you know, is right in the middle, so it could flip to either side. Although, of course, Nims is not doing too great down here. Damus is slowly pushing him back with missile trucks. Again, great value unit, able to just sit back and launch rockets from afar. Definitely can out micro any medium tanks, because medium tanks are so slow, and they don't really have the greatest range compared to, you know, missile trucks, right? These guys have a pretty insane range for a tier 1 unit, almost 600. Rocket bots still pushing Chummers back. Yeah, this Overwatch tower is in vain, most likely. It can compete with rocket bots in terms of range. Not sure if it has the damage to, you know, push back the push, I guess, to defend, but we'll see. Yeah, medium tanks trying to break through from Damus. A little, yeah, not great micro there that allowed that missile truck to go down, but yeah, he's definitely going to want more units for the front. Looks like some blitzes are coming up here, which, yeah, not great against medium tanks, gotta say. If they can get around and swarm a couple units, that's nice, but and more missile trucks going down when they just don't need to. It looks like Chisato is going to be going down to the southern plane, and he sees Damus as a bigger threat, although I feel like Nims was on the point of pushing him back. But yeah, these rocket bots going to be coming into support, give his ally a little bit of help there. And yeah, Damus is probably going to lose his commander here if he doesn't start moving quick. The light tanks moving in to try to intercept those medium ones, but yeah, they're just going to be screening for the commander, not really looking to do any damage. Chummers abandoning the high position, going to be helping his friend or retreating, depending on which way you look at it. Construction bot up here making some lighting turrets, which I don't know if that's what I would make against rocket bots, because they don't have the range, which is just what you want. Poor Waterflame here, never really recovered from losing his commander, and Shox, of course, is just a good player, right? Second best player on the team, has a lot of experience, seen him around a lot, so self-destruction back there, do not be alarmed, which I also think is smart from Guy to cast. But also, you know, Akmu using his commander up here, he has no kills, interesting. I guess he is, you know, making laser turrets, trying to fortify this position, allowing for this vehicle plant to come up for Black Bart, which will slowly push back the combined defense of Michael and crop rotation up here. Which, yeah, this side has been very, very inactive for the Warm Colors team. Battle Bandit, of course, still holding his position up here. Lenore also pushed up quite heavily with a, vehicle plan up here as well for Cortex, and looks like his commander is going to be going down, trying to bank on the fact that he can get Battle Bandit out as well, which he does. So 2 commanders down there. Again, kind of like a coin flip back down here. We'll see who does get those commanders. Not sure whether it be Lenore or the Warm Colors team. MDXD looks like he's going to be the most likely candidate there, but pushing up that commander like that with, Janus's and missile trucks, probably not what I would do. You don't really have anything that can take any hits besides your commander, which obviously you don't want to be taking hits for, so we'll see. But yeah, inactive for the air war. We'll see who has a better economy now. Looks like plus 37 metal for Akamu and plus 86 for Guy Cast. So, yeah, with his commander going down, able to kind of leapfrog his position there. He does have the advanced bot lab, so he's done producing air for now. And of course, that is a for now. And I'm surprised he hasn't already reclaimed this bot lab. I would have done that pretty initially, but it looks like he wants to get that metal production up with the T2 maxes, stuff like that. Or honestly, as an air player, you kind of want to just ask other people for tier 2 constructors rather than making a whole bot lab yourself. Or at least I feel like that's the most common thing to do, but you never know. Looks like MDXD might have reclaimed these, or they might have just been destroyed. Kind of hard to tell. Should have kept my eye on that. But it is 13 minutes in, and while 2,000 metal is definitely important, it's probably not going to be changing the game or anything. Cheeky Gauntlet up here, trying to force this artillery to either fall back or move forward. Although there's nothing really to punish them if they do decide to move forward from the Warm Colored team. Slow-moving Stouts and Januses, but looks like they are content to just sit back, wait for this advanced vehicle plant all the way on the front line, which... yeah, the northern spot is a little tenuous for my taste to be putting a T2 lab all the way up there, but again, to each their own. Chisato with T2 Hounds up here. Going to be pushing back Mr. Chummers. Finally, that Overwatch tower survived a lot longer than I thought it would, in all fairness. I was a little bit pessimistic there, I have to say. We still got this clump of 19 blitzes here. I don't know really how much they've done. Yeah, not much. Oh well. They're screening. They were there, okay? It's called a fleet in being, all right? Their power is just putting little dots on the map, making your opponent afraid, right? We do have crop rotation as well as MD, XD, pushing back. Poor Black Bart here. Looks like his vehicle plant might be going down there, so maybe not the best investment to put that all the way up there. Sentient Waffle not really able to help. He just has a bunch of low-tier pawns and ticks, so that's not anything that's going to be able to scrap with a larger army like this. And yeah, there goes the vehicle plant. And that's kind of one for them, at least for the moment. Sentient Waffle is really just content to sit back. He doesn't really have a lot of units that can do any pushing. Armada Bot, really want to transition out of that as soon as you can into, you know, tier 2 stuff, which he's going to be making a Recluse and also an EMP Spider. I don't know. Recluses might be pretty good with that terrain up there. I'm not super familiar with. I feel like they're a little bit bad. You don't really see them like being masked or anything like that, but yeah, we can see they have good burst damage. So I think being paired with that EMP Spider right there is a pretty good idea, but. Naval Energy Converter is going to be going down. Kind of cheeky play from Shox there, because again, like, this is not a secure position right on this water here. And Akamu grabbing this geothermal power plant, which I'm surprised that even counts as being on the. Oh, I guess. Oh, never mind. I thought this was the geothermal spot. I was like, that looks really off base, but no, it's just fine. All right, what else going on here? A little bit of a push in the north here from Crab Potation. Again, he can just kind of do what he wants here because Sentient Waffle doesn't really have the resources to help him. And again, these rocket bots are great at just punishing without taking any damage. So nice, a lot of missed rockets there, but they're doing their best, right? Yeah, Black Bart on the back foot, but it's not like this army is super strong either, so he can definitely bounce back from that if he feels like it. Shox under duress here. These hounds, again, just able to punish with their range. Shox does have the T2, vehicle construction up here, making some Mausers to try to contest the hounds there, but it might be too little too late. You might just want to reclaim that that vehicle plant before it is too late. Yeah, it's not looking great for him up there, although he doesn't have the metal storage to even reclaim all of it and use it, right? But, you know, take what you can get, I think. Yeah, Chisato is just still descending from the highlands. And yes, I guess the Rocket Spiders, not doing bad for Tremors up here. Able to kind of harass a little bit. They have the burst fire, so they can just kind of shoot and get out. But they are just a little bit slow for the shoot and scoot. But he is trying to maneuver them around as best as he can. Again, Micro and Bar, not the most, not the coolest thing you've seen. The units are a little bit slow compared to something like StarCraft or like that. But anyways, Shock's going to be going down there. I guess doesn't have the energy for cloaking. And yeah, kind of just wanted to go in with the commander. Would have preferred him just to charge in. Once you're down to like 20% and you're well in Hound's range, it's kind of over for you. But, he's still in the game. Not a big deal. Rattlesnake trying to come up to contest the Hounds, but doesn't look like it's going to be making it. Oh, it might. It might. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, these Recluses looks like they did pretty well. Chisato's commander going to be going down there, and it looks like Chisato has the best economy by far of anybody else in the match. But he is very, very much carrying poor Waterflame there. Waterflame really hasn't had much of a map presence since he lost his commander, and so it's been Chisato bouncing back and forth between both of these sides here. But he's finally able to commit, finally able to take Shox's forward and placement out, which is actually a really good bit of his economy there and all of his production. So that's going to be a pretty big blow for Shox. Gonna take out one of the red team's, or the warm colored team's, best player out for a little bit there. Dame is still not able to take Nims out of the fight here, not able to push him back. Again, Chisato coming down and helping Nims was super, super useful. But this one bull here, man, able to just clear out all the little T1 emplacements that had been set up. Yeah, this advanced vehicle plant not producing anything. Looks like he's focusing on this advanced geothermal power plant. I'm trying, I swear. Yeah, we all believe you, buddy. All right. No, I'm kidding. He's holding his own, which is... it's fair enough, right? I think South is kind of hoping that the North can win this for them because, Chisato being down here and having such a dominant position, it definitely doesn't bode well for the South down here, not at all. Fighters from Gadacast going to be engaging with Akamu, which, it did not go well for them. We do have to say that. Even with his better economy, I think he just wasn't focusing on building fighters for so long that, yeah, it kind of hurt. And he's producing a lot of radar planes, which... Oh, there we go. No, high ones. Okay. I was getting a little confused there. It's like, that's a little silly, isn't it? But yeah, Akmu with the air dominance for sure. Doesn't have the bombers or anything to back it up, but he is clearing the air, so that's good for him, of course. Damus's commander looks like, yep, going to be going down there to some fat boys. The heavy plasma bot, always nice to see. And yeah, the hounds here for Chisato looks like they are threatening Damus's production down here, which, yeah, having your best players' production going down and economy is definitely not what you want to happen, right? And that might send a death sentence. This geothermal power plant, never gotten. Might send a death sentence for this warm-colored team, but we hope not. The fighter squadron from Akmu gonna be moving up here to clear the airspace of these abductors. Yeah, abductors are great. Of course, they can abduct, as their name implies, but they can also EMP other units. They have a little laser on the front there, which not many people know about. Or I guess it's not intuitive to know about. I think that's fair to say. In the north here, haven't focused on it too much, but we do have Battle Bandit still up here. Crop rotation moving up to the north here. Sentient Waffle basically just pushed back. All the Mousers down here from Calthax. Looks like they haven't done... Oops, sorry. Looks like they haven't done too much. Yeah, no kills on those guys. Looks like he's waiting to group them up before sending them out, which I approve of. Always better to group up your army like this instead of sending them out one by one, as anybody knows. It's like all the bad guys beating up a superhero, right? They all go one by one, only for Batman to like throw them off a bridge or whatever. Instead, they could all attack him at once, guys. Come on, they're so silly. Abductor going to be going down there. So is that Rocket Spider. So yeah, a stalwart defense, but it's not quite enough. We do have some welders gathering here, which, yeah, their slow advance is really going to hurt them. They are a very slow bot unit, and these fat boys are great against slow units because they can just sit back and kill you. But Rattlesnake back here going to be putting in the work. Fat boy probably going to be taking that out if it isn't. Ooh, it might live. It might live. Mousers from Nims coming up as well. Gotta love the Mousers. Yeah, you can see these welders just being punished by their slow assault. And yeah, they're still putting in work though. Fat Boy's going to be going down. Only one left. And the Mousers are now in danger as well, but he doesn't really have enough units to sustain that push, although there is another little contingent coming up as well. And yeah, the chat is really horrid on this game. Yeah, the cool color team, even when they're winning, is so angsty. It's crazy. I don't understand. I mean, I guess I do understand. Everybody gets angsty for a time, but you see it continually from some people. Is always heartening to watch. That was sarcastic. Okay, so some good things to talk about. Akmu has taken this medal. He's been holding it for quite some time against Shocks. Hasn't recovered quite yet from that blow up front. He does have his tier 2 bot lab out again, but he is going to be making some workers, not too focused on his army, which, yeah, also making an Aphis here. He's playing the long game again, which you kind of saw him do up here, although that didn't work out. So we'll see. We'll see. We can hope that the long game over here does work out for him. He might realize the precariousness of this southern position is like, well, maybe I need to build up for a storm when I don't have these big eco players down here. We do have an atomic bomber out for guided cast, as well as his fighter squadron is decently healthy and also tier 2. And yeah, Akumu's fighters it's looking bleak. I don't know. It's actually looking kind of even, especially because guided cast is attacking him over, enemy bases with anti-air. But it does look like Guided Cast is going to be coming out on top there. And what is that atomic bomber looking for? Ooh, looking for that Aphis from Sentient Waffle. Not quite up yet, so if it does kill it, there's not going to be some big explosion. But yeah, killing an Aphis before it's up. Oh, very nice. And it can go and attack again, it looks like. It is sitting at half health there. And of course, we do have to watch this Mauser ball from Calthax over there, putting in the work in the north, which, the cool color team, has continually lost. So he's actually pushing them back, but it's not looking too great for the north there, having Sentient Waffle and Lenore bombed by atomic bombs. Oh, Lenore bombed twice, unfortunate. Don't know if I would have bombed him again there, because he's just a wind farm guy now at this point. And yet, this atomic bomber is insane, actually getting insane value for all, just one bomber. And that's got to be quite disheartening for the north there. After they just pushed the warm-colored team back, they are now getting you know, their economies bombed from afar, all because their air player is not. It's not looking good. Like, look, oh my gosh, it's taking so long for these T1 fighters. You're still on a T1 aircraft plant is really, really rough. 24 minutes into the game. The fact that he doesn't have T2 aircraft is quite insane. Not only because your T2 fighters are much, much better, but also because your offensive options also grow with that T2 aircraft plant. But I guess Akumu is content with his shurikens and fighters, which are currently, yeah, losing that war for him. And he basically, I mean, he lost that northern position for his team there, which is always rough to see. Chisato with the Razorbacks, able to hit abductors when they get too close, but yeah, stunning Razorbacks like that and then allowing the Sheldons to, you know, hit them from afar. Fantastic. Really, really good idea. And again, if Akumu had the fighter force to go out there and contest this would be fantastic. But 3 abductors now, 3 mobile EMPs for the Armada is very, very nice here. So Razorbacks definitely feeling the hurt there. Another one stunned, and that should be all the Razorbacks done. But this push is still getting quite far. Sheldons are good, but having only 1 army on the map against like T3 isn't going to be doing his team too much justice there, unfortunately. He is doing his best, of course. You know, more salt in the chat. I wish I had a good way to just turn it off. I don't want to see it. Sheldons and welders out here, and Akumu's commander push all the way out front, making a light anti-air tower. Oh, there we go. Just finished it. That's that thistle, man. That's a lot of responsibility for a poor guy here. I don't even know how many hits it takes from a T1 aircraft or anti-air tower against abductors. Quite a few hits, it sure. Does manage to get a kill there. Let's go for the thistle. 2 kills actually. Oh my gosh. The best thistle in the whole universe. Another one popped up here from Akumu. You know, he's like, if I don't have a fighter force, I'll just make anti-air towers, I guess. So Mauser's up here on the offensive with a bull front line. Very, very powerful. Super, super strong. Just make sure your bulls aren't shooting into your own Mausers. And also, he's just bypassing the castle here. Which, if you know anything about medieval armies, is maybe not the wisest play in the world, because you open yourself up to retaliation and, you know, your reinforcements being cut off, stuff like that. But yeah, these sharpshooters able to just, you know, attack with impunity. Nothing to stop them. Yeah, Battle Bandit holding this position has been very, very nice for this northern part of his team, even if Calthax has been pushing quite heavily there. But yeah, the center portion is really, really where the pushes are coming in. Chisato with another 3 Razorbacks. This is like his 3rd time pushing with 3 Razorbacks. Yeah, super, super wary of those abductors. And they do have really good anti-air, but those abductors, if they're able to stun them, you know, it doesn't matter if you're just sitting there, right? Yeah, the 10-second stun is really, really powerful. They did say, or there was like an experimental feature where your EMP does more of like a slowdown, and then until you stun eventually if you do it quickly in succession, which I kind of like the idea of, but also Armada feels really like quite weak. If their, you know, OP stun ability is taken away, it feels like. Although shurikens would be less oppressive for sure, which would be a huge boon in the early game. Those shurikens are a really, really quick defense against rushes, and even though they can be taken out quite easily because they're quite low flying air units, they're still air units, right? And they're super, super cheap. So you're basically killing a unit when you kill it with the shuriken, right? Or when you paralyze it, because it's just stunned for so long. Razorback out here for shocks. He's finally built up enough where he has his gantry. He's comfortable. He's producing units. He's moisturized in his own lane. And yeah, the Sheldon ball. Oh my gosh. I wonder how many kills these Sheldons have. 114. Yeah. Casual 114 kills. There are 74 Sheldons. So that's like 2 kills a Sheldon. And he's been continually replacing them. So yeah, great value on those Sheldons. Honestly, would not be able to hold without our boy Michael here. And honestly, Michael being the lowest TS here feels, I don't know if this is like an alt or he just plays like a lot of FFA or something, but he's been doing really, really good this game. Helping up here, and then of course with the Sheldon ball down here. So congrats. Damus out here with the sharpshooters, trying to just contain this flank here, which, yeah, was the original way that he was getting pushed into his base, but now it looks like Chisato's more focused over here. Chisato also just deciding he's the air player now, making a ton of T1 fighters here, which is more acceptable in his position when he's not the air player, right? Compared to Akumu, I think is still... Oh, he does have his advanced aircraft plan up. Wow. Okay, okay. I take it all back. I take it all back. These little pea shooter guys doing their best anti-air that they can, but not quite enough. Guided Cast also getting quite a few kills there, but still a good fighter, healthy fighter force left for Chisato, and also for Akmu, who's sending his own Haggard fighter force in as well. Actually, he's T2 now. I forgot. So he has some T2 stealth fighters. Fantastic. I think only 4 left, though, for him. And Razorback getting into Damus's base here. Not good at all. And looks like Damus's economy kind of in the toilet. Plus, looks like plus 50 metal without reclaim. 3,000 energy. Could be worse. Could be better. What are you going to do? He's also a frontline player for the most part, so it's not as important for him to have an economy. Although, you know, 30 minutes into the game, everybody turns into an eco player, right? Everybody's making aphises and you know, energy converters and stuff like that. But even still, we'll give him grace. You know, he's killing it, literally killing a lot of bots. And this is also, yeah, he is taking advantage of all the metal that's left on the field here. 7,000 metal over here, 2,000 over here, and some hundreds just scattered about. So pretty nice for him there. He just still has to contend with this. And I think the ticks here from Nimze, whether he intended it or not, is really, really great against these sharpshooters because they're wasting shots on, you know, these stupid little units. So if he ever does decide to go for a push, a good amount of shots are going to be wasted on those like crappy T1 units. So I think it's a smart idea. The Sheldon Ball from Michael, going to be pushing up this lane here. The original lane that was actually doing pretty well against Black Bart, which has now seen very little action for quite some time. Battle Bandit also pushing up right into Lenore's base. He wasn't able to recover after that atomic bombing, actually going into an aircraft plant of his own. And Lenore wants to resign. Which, honestly, I would still say the Cool Colors team is in a dominant position here. Well, not dominant, but they are far, far, far from losing. I think this northern side really just needs to be shortened up. Like, those 4 atomic bombs have done irreparable damage against players that didn't really have like the greatest economy in the first place, right? Like they were already on the back foot, and then they had their one chance with the Mauser ball, and then they just got obliterated. So pretty rough out there for them. Oops, there's all the spectators. See anybody you know? Yeah, Razorbacks out here from Shocks. Looks like they're going to be walling up any offensive attacks from Chisato, who's going to be turning his attention to the south. Actually, is he just like ecoing now? He doesn't have a ton of units on the field. Although I guess they've been continually destroyed. Titan. The old Titan. 25 of them, if he can get them. This should work. You never know. You never ever know. Gadacast lost his air power, looks like. Poor guy. So it looks like some other teammates are picking up the slack there, trying to make this Avis here. And yeah, it does make sense. I mean, even though you are the air player, you're going to need an economy eventually, right? And sitting on 50 metal, like 31 minutes into the game, it's not good. It's not good. But I guess, you know, better than Akamu, who's on 33. And he already paid back his position with those atomic bombs, but make sure he doesn't want to rest on his laurels or anything like that. So BattleBit still pushing up with welders and also some sharpshooters in the back here. Kind of a slow, sustained push. There's no like fast units that are able to do a lot of eco damage. I would love to see some Jags. You know, those lightning tanks, those T2 tanks, would be fantastic in a front that you've already won like this, but you know, he probably doesn't just want to switch production like that. And welders, yeah, the welders, not great for these cross map pushes. They're just really, really slow. And also, like, I don't think they're the best unit, honestly. Although a lot of people are making them. They're high health, which is fantastic, but they're slow. They don't have a ton of range, and they don't do good single target. So when people start making Titans, that's a big problem for you, because Titans have good range. They do high single target damage and also high group damage. And they're not going to go down to, you know, some lightning attacks. So maybe welders aren't the play, but everybody's making them. Damus, Chummers, and our warm color players up here. So they must be in the meta or something. There's something about them I don't understand that everyone's making them. I like the concept, but they are just really slow. And as bots, you kind of want to be fast, right? That's kind of bots' whole thing. At least in the T1 game, and I'd say even in the T2 game. Looks like Jizato's going to be taking the abductor strat, but doesn't quite work as well when your opponent is able to, you know, pull back and take him out before they start EMPing you. And yeah, not sure what's all that about. Fighter Force also covering up, but yeah, looks like Jizato is just quitting, which this is yeah, morale-wise, the the Cool Colors team is stomped, basically. The northern part had already fallen, and Chisato was the best player on their team, and he was not, or they, I don't know their gender, right? They were not super excited the whole game about anything that was going on. So Lenore's going to be taking control and also quitting out, and it's basically, it's the end of the road here. So GG. I think it was a good game, and I think it highlights a really interesting aspect of Beyond No Reason, which is the personalities that a lot of players have. You see a lot of players, like, you know, over and over again, right? And you know, when they have these kind of attitudes, it makes it rough. Like this was, I feel like this is still a winnable position, right? But yeah, when you, like, you have 4 Titans on the field here, and you quit out, and I feel like, you know, oh well. What do I know? I'm just a silly little goose. But hope you guys did enjoy that game. Hope you did enjoy. I'm going to try to make it like look cool. I don't know. I want to put more effort into these because I hate just like the daily like replays that's just like going over a match that may not even be good. But I did really like this match. I think I highlighted a lot about certain players in the community, and also how your attitude can just completely wreck the kind of game that you're playing. But anyways, hope you did enjoy it. Hope you do have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you all later. Oh yeah, actually, no, wait, don't leave yet. Stop. Look. I wish I had team stats, like I could just compare like cool colored team to orange or warm colored team, but they had a dominant economy. Like Chisato, of course, always out on top here with metal produced. And then, of course, you also had Shocks here. And Michael. I think Michael's an all. He did really, really well for a 15 TS player. Either way. Anyways, so you had Chisato, Michael, and Shocks. And then everybody else is down here. So I feel like the economies were in favor of the cool colored team. Or at least it was even for like the whole time. So quitting out like that is really silly. But anyways, hope you guys did enjoy. And again, have a good day. Adios.